Hi my loves, it's Lucid Simmer and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing the long-awaited mod review video. If you don't already know, I have done one other mod review previously on my channel and I will have that linked below if you want to check it out. There are a ton of mods linked in that video. But for today's video, we are going to go for a bit more of a theme. So this is a compilation of some of my favorite aesthetic gameplay mods for The Sims. I'm really excited to get into these mods. There's a lot of good ones in here, so I hope you guys find something that is new to you and stuff that you really enjoy. Before we get into the video, I do want to mention our featured commenter. Today's featured comment is from Pixie Sticks, and they said, "Wow, she's gorgeous. It took me an hour, but I downloaded everything so I can put her in my game as she is. Thank you for all your hard work putting all those links together." Thank you so much, Pixie Sticks, for this really sweet comment and the appreciation on putting all the links together. And I hope that you enjoy playing with the Coastal Cowgirl sim that I made. As far as this sim that we are using for the video today, this is Anya Alexander. I will say she's not available on the gallery because she is one of my personal model sims for Sims content. But that being said, if you ever see any CC that I'm using that you would like or that you're curious about, I am 100% Where Can I Find Friendly over on my Tumblr. And I of course will link that down below for you guys. So if you go to my Tumblr and click on the Ask tab and ask where I got any certain piece of CC, whether it is on a sim or in a build, I will do my best to link it for you guys. I will also most likely be using this sim for videos or content in the future, so I think this video will be a nice little introduction into this character as well. Alright, so I know that I said this is going to be an aesthetic gameplay mod review, which it mostly is, but I do have a couple of smaller mods that I just want to show you guys before we get into those. The first one being this loading screen. I am so obsessed with this loading screen. I think it's so beautiful. This is the Tartosa loading screen version 4 by Marilyn Jean Sims. It's just so pretty. I honestly think that Tartosa is one of the prettiest worlds in The Sims, so I love that every time I'm in a loading screen, I get to look at this beautiful view. So this next mod is actually a gallery pose mod, but it also affects looking at households in the world view when you're actually in the game. So this one that I have downloaded is the Subtle Secondary Poses by Lulacorn. And these poses show up in the gallery in your library as well when you save a sim or download a sim. But I love these poses for when you're looking at households from a world view because it zooms in on your sim's face. And I just love how neat and organized it looks. And I love being able to just see everyone that is in that household when you hover over the house. I also just recommend Lulacorn's gallery poses in general because I think they're so amazing. Alright, now we are getting into the actual gameplay mods. So this first mod is the Sunrise Alarm Clock by Lot51. This is one of those pieces of CC that once I download it, I now put it in every single one of my builds because it's just so useful for gameplay. So if you click Sunrise, there's actually a couple different things that you can do. There's an option that says subscribe to daily report. And this is of course optional, you can toggle it on and off. But basically what this is every morning that your sim wakes up, you get a weather report for wherever your sim is living, and it also gives your sims a list of all of the current neighborhood stories going on around the Sims world. So instead of clicking on your mailbox and having to check neighborhood stories again and again to see everything that happened, it'll just give you a full list of everything that is going on. And I'll show you guys that a little bit later once we're actually using the mod, but I think it's so handy and it's one of my favorite features. And then of course there's also create an alarm, which I do not have this alarm clock set up yet, so we're gonna go ahead and do this one. And here, as you can see, you can set an alarm for a specific time every morning. You can set a time based on your sim's career. Anya is currently unemployed, but say for example, your sim is an athlete and you want them to wake up an hour before their job starts every single day. You can do that by setting a career-based alarm type. Today, we are going to set an alarm type based on the sunrise. I love love this feature so much. It's one of my personal favorites, and I love having my Sims be able to wake up and watch the sunrise before they get on with their day. And as you can see, once you pick that alarm type, it'll ask you how many minutes before that alarm type you would like to wake up. So I am going to have Anya wake up 30 minutes before the sunrise, so we have time to see it. So here's now the overview of the alarm that we set up. Sunrise is at 6 a.m., so our alarm is set to 5:30. And of course, you can disable this alarm. You can rename it if you would like to name it something specific. You could manage the weekly schedule, so you could make it so that your Sim wakes up with the sunrise on the weekends, and then during the week when your Sim has work, they can have a career-based alarm instead. I just love the versatility in this mod. I feel like it's just so handy, especially if you're like me and you sometimes forget to wake your Sim up for work or school. There's also this new interaction, so I'm going to have Anya sleep until her alarm rings, and then we're gonna go ahead and wake up before the sunrise. Right, 5:30 on the dot, the alarm clock is going off and Anya wakes right up and shuts it off. I will say this is like the worst weather to show off this feature because it's super cloudy and we're not getting that beautiful sunrise like I wanted, but the sun is rising right now, so as you can see, that is when the alarm went off. Usually the sunrises are prettier than this, but I'll take what we get. And as I mentioned before, this is our daily report. So this pops up every single morning when the alarm clock goes off. I think it's so cute. It says, "Good morning to your Sim." Today it says the weather is currently cool and cloudy, which we could obviously tell by that sunrise. It also says there's a 100% chance that rain might possibly happen at some point. This made me laugh so much because it just reminded me of Mean Girls when Karen Smith is doing the weather report at the end of the movie. If you know, you know. And then below the weather, it says in the news, and it shows you all of the neighborhood stories that are happening right now in list form. So you can see when people change jobs, when people move, when people die, if you have that turned on, and it just kind of keeps your Sim up to date on everything, and I just love this mod so much. Alright, and the next mod I'm gonna show off to you, or mods I guess, is the No Effects UI Mood and Face Overlay Animations by Envy Games. These are a few mods in one, but basically what it does is it makes it so that there's not all of those crazy animations going on around your Sim or above their head as they're going about their day-to-day life. I used to not mind these animations as much, but once I started filming content, I really just found them getting in the way a lot. So if you're someone who gets annoyed by these animations getting in the way, I highly recommend this mod, as well as the UI Mood and Face Overlay animations. As you can see in the bottom left corner, Anya is in a focused mood, but her UI is still looking very neutral, as opposed to how it usually is in the game where your Sims make crazy faces when they're feeling focused or inspired or whatever it is. And then same for your Sims' normal facial UI in-game, where sometimes your Sims will have such huge reactions to things and make these like crazy faces that a lot of times feel very out of character, depending on the Sim. So what this mod does is basically tone it down a bit and make it so that your Sim isn't making these crazy, over-exaggerated faces all the time. Alright, this next mod is one of my absolute favorites. If you watched my Lucid Legacy challenge, then you definitely know what this mod is. This is the Home Barista Espresso Machine by Little Bo Bub, and this allows you to make custom coffees and hot chocolates in your game. I love this mod so much. I definitely have a coffee addiction. I have coffee every single day, at least 1 cup, and I love having my Sims drink a bunch of coffee as well. So this mod definitely makes it a lot more fun. They have a lot more options for coffees and lattes and espresso shots and everything like that. And they also have a hot chocolate section with a bunch of different flavors. I actually haven't used the hot chocolate portion of this mod quite yet, but I'm really excited to, especially for the winter time with your Sims curling up on the couch, drinking some hot chocolate. I'm so excited. Today for Anya, I think we're going to make a cortado just to show you guys the animation and what the coffee looks like. Depending on the coffee you make, drink as well. There are different little like latte designs on the top of the coffee, and I just love that attention to detail and the way that it looks in the game. So this is Anya's coffee that she's drinking today, and we're actually gonna have her not finish her coffee to show the next mod. This next mod is Hidden Highlight by Froggity, and this is one of those mods that is a bit smaller and you might not notice at first, but in my opinion it makes a huge difference for gameplay. Normally in The Sims, when you hover over certain objects, they light up, and this mod basically just gets rid of that. So when we hover over the fridge, it just remains normal. But one of my favorite parts is that if you're putting something in the fridge, for example, we're going to put this coffee in the fridge since Anya didn't finish it, and when we do that, the fridge does light up again. So it will still light up when you're interacting with the object, but just not when you're hovering over it for no reason. And like I said, this attention to detail just makes a huge difference in general gameplay. The next mods we're going to be talking about actually all have to do with holidays in The Sims. One of the first things I do when I start a new save file is add my usual custom holidays into my game. I think it's such a great way to personalize your save file and make it feel very realistic. And another big help for this is custom holiday icons and traditions. Also, just as a side note, if you guys would like to see the holidays that I usually put into my game, definitely go ahead and comment down below. I don't know if it would be enough for a whole YouTube video, but I might make a TikTok showing my usual holidays that I always add into my games. This first one is the More Holiday Icons by Lil Miss Sam, and pretty self-explanatory. It adds more holiday icons into your game, so having a more wide variety of icons to choose from definitely opens up the possibilities for more holidays as well. If you can see here on this list, there are a lot of different ones to choose from, and some of these have definitely gotten me inspired as well to add some new and unique holidays into my game, so I really like this mod. And then, as you can see from this long list of traditions, we have some new ones. Things like ask for a massage or take a bath. I actually have 4 different holiday tradition mods in my game. I have the More Holiday Traditions by MSQ Sims, Custom Traditions by LOLNYNY, Holiday Traditions by Kiara Sims, as well as the Food and Kids Holiday Traditions by Kara Drill. Having all of these added holiday traditions make such a huge difference. And same thing with the icons, sometimes just going through the holiday traditions list kind of gets me inspired to make a new holiday in my game. So today we are going to do a self-care day with Anya. So I'm gonna pick this cute little candle icon, and then I'm gonna go through the list and pick everything that reminds me of self-care. All right, so for our self-care day holiday, we are going to take a bath, cook healthy, write in our journal, and then also bake a cake. And that sounds like a pretty good self-care day to me. All right, I did skip forward to the next day, so we are officially celebrating our self-care day, and we are going to check off some of the things on our tradition list. So the first thing we're going to do is cook healthy, and this brings us to our next mod. This is the Healthy Food on Fridge mod by Lil Miss Sam, and what this does is add a cook healthy meal pop-up straight onto your fridge. So with lifestyles that came with Snowy Escape, there is an option for your sim to unlock the Health Food Nut lifestyle, and if your sim is to unlock this lifestyle, that is normally when you would get this interaction to cook healthy meals. But with this mod, it will be an option all the time. So your sim doesn't need to unlock that lifestyle to be able to cook healthy meals. And it's also an easier way to unlock that lifestyle as well if you're looking to do that. So here is some of the recipes if you're curious and you haven't seen them before. Again, this did come with Snowy Escape, so the recipes themselves aren't CC. I think this morning we're gonna have Anya cook an egg white omelet to start off her day on a healthy note. This is such a side note, but does anyone else have an obsession with watching their Sims cook? I don't know what it is, but I just find it so peaceful to watch my Sims cook. And here is Anya enjoying her egg white omelet. So yeah, I love this mod so much, and I highly recommend it, especially if you get bored with the normal in-game recipes and you just want to add a few more options into your game for all your Sims. All right, the next thing on our list for self-care day is to journal, and that brings us to our next mod. This is the Ink for Yourself Memory Keeper by Ravishing. And this is basically a total revamp of the normal journals that we have in-game. So this journal does act kind of similarly to a bookshelf, where you can create a journal entry and it will be stored in the journal, so you can open it up and look at all of your previous journal entries. But we actually do not have one yet, so we're going to go ahead and click create an entry. So the first thing you do when you create a journal entry is pick an icon to represent this journal entry. And today I think we're going to write about our self-care day and our chill day that we're having. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose this thumbs up icon because I feel like that is the most accurate. So once you have your icon all picked out, this is when you actually write down your journal entry. So I am going to name this journal entry self-care day. When I use this mod for gameplay, I also really like doing dates as the journal title because I feel like it's very realistic as to how people journal in real life. And then in the description is where you would actually write out your journal entry. So I'm just gonna have Anya write, having a much needed self-care day, nothing like spending a whole day just resetting and focusing on yourself. Not too much of a journal entry, but just to let you get the gist of what this mod's about. So once you complete your journal entry, your sim has this cute little animation of writing it down. So now once we click on the journal again and click open, you will see that journal entry right there. And when you hover over it, you can read the entire thing. Or you can also click on it and click read, and it'll be a pop-up that you can read as well. You can also edit the journal itself, so you can edit the author of the journal. Of course, this is Anya's journal already, so we're going to leave that as is. But if you have multiple sims in your house and you need to edit it to be a different author, you can totally do that. You can also edit the details of the journal itself. So this would be basically like the name of the journal and the description of what it is. So I'm going to call this a wellness journal. And for the description, I'm just going to put Anya's name. So now when you hover over the journal, it says Wellness Journal, Anya Alexander. So this is Anya's wellness journal. You can also add moodlets to previous journal entries that you've made. So for our self-care day journal entry, I'm gonna add a confident moodlet. And once you add a moodlet to a journal entry, you can kind of relive those memories, and it gives your sim that moodlet, whatever moodlet you pick for that entry. So for example, Anya now has the confident memory moodlet from reminiscing about a memory. Reminding herself of past successes empowers Anya to triumph the future. I just love this attention to detail so much. And again, it just feels very realistic as well. Alright, this next mod is another one by Ravishing. This is the Bus Upon a Time travel mod. This mod does come in a few different forms. So this one that we're looking at right now is the picture version. We also have the singular bus pass version, as well as a bus stop sign that you can interact with as well. For the sake of this video, we are going to be interacting with just this picture frame in the hallway of Anya's apartment. So when you click on it, there is a little pop-up that says transportation. This grayed out option right here is if you want to purchase a bus pass, which Anya already has, so we don't need to do that, but it does cost 250 simoleons. You can also use this mod to invite people to your current lot instead of going through your phone or your relationship panel. But my personal favorite thing about this mod is this section that says hidden. And this makes it so that you can travel to any hidden lot in the game, which comes in handy so much. And there's a ton of different hidden lots around the game, but for example, if you have the Get to Work expansion pack, you can use this mod to get to Future Sims Labs, the police station, the hospital. You can even use this mod to get to Sixum, which is the planet that you can travel to if you build the rocket ship in-game. These lots in The Sims aren't actually in any world, so you can't go to Willow Creek to go to the hospital, for example. Your sim would have to be in the doctor career and have to actively be working to go to the hospital lot. But using this mod, you can have any sim at any time go to the hospital. general. And I just think this comes in handy so much for storytelling and just for general gameplay. I also love that it's divided by worlds, so it's very neat and easy to navigate. Another one of my favorites from this mod is the Snowy Escape hidden lots, because you can go straight to the peak of Mount Komorebi instead of making your sim actually hike there and do all the rock climbing like you would normally have to do. You can basically take an express lift right to the peak of Mount Komorebi if you want to take a nice picture and then leave. And again, I just love having that as an option. I do really like the rock climbing up to the peak of Mount Komorebi in game, but sometimes you don't want to take the time to do that. So I think it's really, really handy to just be able to travel right there if you'd like to. And then of course there's also the standard bus pass, and this one only has one option to general venues, and so that would basically take you to just a normal map view in The Sims if you were to travel like normal, which we are actually going to do, and we are going to head over to the rec center. Alright, so this is the rec center that I placed in San Myshuno for this save. I will be linking the name and creator of this build on the screen now if you would like to check it out. I love this lot so much, so I highly recommend it. I did do a bit of editing and refurnishing for this save, so if you download it, it won't look exactly like this, but it's such a great lot, so yeah, I definitely recommend it. And while we're here, we are going to do some of Anya's favorite activities. The first one being painting. So this is the Painted Up mod by Simon My Best Life, and this is a painting replacement mod. So if you are sick of your sim painting the same few paintings over and over again, or if you just want a little bit of a change, I highly recommend this mod. The paintings are so beautiful. As you can see by this one that Anya is painting now, it is so gorgeous, and I am definitely going to be saving this one to hang up somewhere in Anya's apartment for sure. Also, I am only showing one painting for the sake of this video, but this mod comes with so many paintings, and they're all honestly very beautiful, so I really highly recommend this mod. I mean, look at this gorgeous painting. Are you kidding me? Alright, next we're gonna go ahead and have Anya practice some music, and she's actually gonna play some cello for us today. This is the cello mod by Jane Simston. I love adding custom instruments into my game. I think it's so fun, especially if it's something different like a cello. I feel like this mod is so perfect for maybe a wedding or just like a formal party that your sim is having, or if you just want your sim to learn how to play the cello for themselves. So as you can see, there's a lot of the same interactions as there would be for a guitar or a piano. So we can play songs, we can practice, we can write songs. I'm going to go ahead and have Anya play a symphony for us. So here is the animation for the cello, and of course the beautiful cello sound. And yeah, I just think this is such a fun mod to add to your game. Alright, this next mod is such a fun one. This is the Zumba Fitness Workout Class by Mercury Foam. This mod acts very similarly to the yoga gameplay that comes with Spa Day. These are the new Zumba fitness mats. So as you can see here, the one in the front, the black mat, is actually an instructor mat, and all the green ones are for participants. So you can actually do a full class with an instructor using this mod. But just to show it off, I'm just going to do a individual workout with Anya. So when you click on the mat, you can then click on do a Zumba routine, and I am gonna have her do the prep and pump Zumba. So as you can see, she walks up to the mat, she does a few little stretches and gets pumped up, and then she goes through her workout routine, starting with some squats. They also do push-ups and jumping jacks and crunches and all of these different things. And I love having my Sims go to the gym, so I always love adding new things for my Sims to do at the gym, and this is a really great mod for that. And like I said, I am showing off this mod in a singular version with just Anya, but you can do entire Zumba classes with everyone doing these workouts alongside each other if you would like. All right, sticking with the same creator again, this is the Ballet mod by Mercury Foam, but it comes with this ballet bar and some new interactions where you can train ballet and practice ballet. You can do this with a singular sim as well as with someone else. For today, we are just going to have Anya practice some ballet. And here is some of the animations. I think it's so beautiful. And I don't know, I've just been loving watching my sims practice ballet and get their ballet skills up. All right, this last mod before we leave the rec center, I actually needed another person for, so I did invite my sim self over to the rec center. I don't know why I look so sad, but this next mod is the tennis mod by Veroshi. And what this actually does is it is an override for the ping pong tables in game to turn them into tennis instead. So unfortunately, if you really like having ping pong in your game, then this might not be the mod for you, but I personally don't have my sims play ping pong too often, so I've been loving having this tennis activity instead. So these are the actual tennis courts that I built. I made the landscaping and the fencing and everything in the back of the rec center, but the mod itself is where you would get the tennis nets that you see here. So if you click on them, there's still interactions that says play ping pong or play beer pong. Even though it says that, it will still act like tennis if you have the mod in your game. So I'm going to go ahead and play ping pong against my sim self. So here is some of the animation of playing ping pong, and I've been loving watching my sims play tennis recently. All right, we are finally back home from the rec center, and we did a lot of activity today. So we are going to check off our next thing on our self-care day list, and we are going to go ahead and take a nice relaxing bath. And this next mod I want to show off is the smaller Mosaic by Lamime Meringue. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but basically what this mod does is make it so that the sensor bar over your sim when they're taking a bath or going to the bathroom or whatever it is just smaller than the usual one that comes with the Sims. It still covers absolutely everything, but the sensor bar that usually comes with the game, I just find to be really big. So I like this mod to make sure that the sim is still all censored, but it doesn't get in the way of anything else. All right, and now that we're all washed up and feeling good, the last thing on our list for our self-care day was to bake a cake. And to do that, I'm actually going to be using Granny's Cookbook mod by Little Bo Bub. This mod does come in a few different varieties. I think the usual one would be a literal cookbook that you would place in build mode. But for this build, I did decide to place the recipe tin here, but it does function the exact same. So what this mod does is it adds a bunch of custom recipes and foods into your game. You do have to download the recipes separately, which I actually really like, so you can totally customize it to only the recipes that you want in your game. So if you click on the recipe tin and click on Granny's recipes, there is a few different sections. So we have breakfast, appetizers. This is one of my favorite categories. There's so many fun things to make. There are meals, and there are desserts as well. And I do have some cakes downloaded. So we are going to make one of these cakes for self-care day to kind of end the day on a good, sweet note. I'm gonna go ahead and have Anya make the lavender garden cake for today. Here is the finished cake. I think it's so beautiful. It actually kind of gives me Daisy vibes from Lucid Legacy. The little mushrooms and the flowers and even the cake stand it comes on, I just think is so cute. Another great thing about these cakes specifically is they are compatible with wedding toppers and birthday candles. So you can add candles to this cake and age up one of your Sims, and I love having these more personalized birthday cakes in The Sims as well. I mean, look how cute that is. You can get so much more specific with your Sim's personality as well. I just love it. All right, we are winding down on our self-care day. This next mod is the Face Mask on Mirror mod by Lex Sims. Pretty self-explanatory. This mod makes it so that you can purchase facial masks when you click on mirrors, as opposed to having the mini fridge from Spa Day, which is where you would normally have to buy face masks in the game. It just makes it so much easier, and definitely it takes up less space as well, which is really nice. So there are all of the normal facial masks available, but for today, I think we are going to do the gold facial mask for Anya. So here is the queen herself with her mask on, absolutely glowing. Love to see it. All right, so it is the next day, and Anya decided to throw a tiny little get-together for her and my sim self. Just a bit of a bestie hang, but where they can dress up and eat good food and maybe have a champagne or something. But before we start the party, we actually don't have our nails done, so we are gonna go ahead and use our next mod to do that before we start the party. So this is the Self Manicure and Pedicure mod by Sepsid, and it's another pretty self-explanatory one, but basically it makes it so that your Sims can do their own manicures and pedicures themselves at home or wherever they want to. So when you click on your Sim, you should see this Self Manicure and Pedicure option, and we are going to be doing a manicure today. And then you get the same pop-up menu as if you were to go to a salon in the game and get your nails done by an actual nail tech. So for Anya today, I think we're going to do some white almond-shaped nails. I think that'll go so perfectly with her party outfit for later. And then here is the little nail painting animation. It's so cute. It's pretty quick. And then here are her beautiful nails. Just like with a lot of the mods that I'm showing you guys today, this one just adds such realism into the game, especially for when I forget to do my Sims nails and I want them to have their nails done for certain events or whatever it is. This makes it so easy for you to be able to just do your nails at home really quickly whenever you need to. All right, you guys, I think it is time for our little girls' day party to commence. Of course, I'm calling it a party, but I'm literally only inviting over one Sim because it's just easier to manage that way. This next mod I'm going to be showing you guys is the Longer Parties and More Guests mod by Weirbasu. So if we go ahead and have Anya start planning an event, I'm just going to go ahead and pick House Party just as an example. We're gonna go ahead and make Anya the host, and then we are going to invite over our guest. As I said before, we are only inviting over one guest for this video, but as part of this mod, it actually makes it so that you can invite over absolutely any Sim that is in your game, whether you know them or not. In this save file, Anya actually only knows a few people and is only friends with my Sim self, so normally my Sim self would be the only person that would show up on this list to be able to invite to the party. But like I said, with this mod, you can invite over absolutely anyone in the entire Sims world, and I think that that is so useful, especially when you want to do a party in a household that you have multiple Sims in. I always would run into the problem where I wanted to invite over a group of Sims for a dinner party or whatever it was, but I would have one Sim in my house know half the people that I wanted to invite, and then another Sim in my house know the other half of the people I wanted to invite, but the person actually planning the party had to know everybody to invite them, and that is no longer the case, thankfully. So planning parties is so much easier with this mod. And another part of this mod is that parties last so much longer than they normally do. So I will mention this again later, but basically you can have a party last all day if you would like it to, and then when you want to end the party, if you want to end it early, you can just click on the little time bubble that usually pops up on the top left corner and just click end party early. But I love being able to have longer parties in the game. Even if I don't actually make the party last super long, I just like that feeling of not having it be very rushed. Sometimes I feel like with the normal time length for parties in The Sims, it can feel very rushed and like you don't have enough time to do everything you want to do. But with this mod, you don't even have to think about it. You can just vibe out, have a nice chill party, do whatever you want to do, and then end it at whatever time you want it to. Alright, this next mod is called the Ding and Ditch Smart Doorbell by Lot51. I love this mod so much. I will say though, just as a little disclaimer, I did use the tool mod by Twisted Mexi to place this doorbell outside of Anya's apartment. It does still function, but not as well as it would function if it was placed on a house on a lot. Since I placed it outside of an apartment using cheats, it doesn't work as well as it normally would. So I didn't really think that one all the way through, but I can still show off this mod to you guys. So when you click on the doorbell, there is a bunch of different interactions that come up. You can wave at the camera, ring the doorbell, make funny faces. There's also some mischief interactions, things like that. But if we go ahead and click on settings, this is where you can really fine-tune the mod to work the way that you would like it to. Here you can actually turn off the doorbell completely if you don't want to use it and maybe just want to place it on a lot just for a aesthetics or whatever it is. You can change the name if you would like to. You can disable the ring notification. Whenever you place this doorbell, the ring notification is automatically going to be turned on. So if you would like to turn that off, you can definitely do so here. What this ring notification does is basically whenever a sim comes to your house or your apartment or knocks on the door or is just stopping by to visit, you will get a little notification that tells you whoever is at your door, basically. And I really love this feature, especially because sometimes in the game, I'll have sims come visit my sim, knock on the door, and I won't hear them and won't even realize that they stopped by. But with this, you get an actual alert or notification, and you can see exactly who it is, and I just think it is super convenient. You can also turn off or on the ringtone for when people stop by. There's a little jingle that happens when people actually ring this smart doorbell. There's also a section that says detection mode, and this is autonomously off whenever you place your doorbell. But if you would like to turn it on, there are two options. There is the face detection option, so that if there is a sim nearby that is already in your friends list who you know, it will give your sim a little notification to say that this person is nearby. And then there is also a motion detection option. So this will basically make it so if there's ever a sim that walks by your door or is in close vicinity, it basically sets off the motion detector. It will give you a notification as well and tell you who's there, whether you have a relationship with that sim or not. I actually haven't messed around with this part of the mod quite yet, but I really like that it's an option. I think that that is really cool. All right, so here's my sim self all ready for this little house party that Anya's having. Like I said, this mod isn't working perfectly the way I have it because I did cheat it to place it outside of our apartment, but I did turn on the Face ID detection. So when my sim self walks up to the door, we can kind of see how that works. So as you can see, my sim self walks up in front of the door and left for some reason, but we get this little pop-up. It says Face ID has identified someone near Ding and Ditch smart doorbell. And then it has a picture of my sim self along with my sim self's name. All right, our girls' night has commenced, and I think the first thing that we need to do is take a little selfie together. So we are going to go ahead and do that. This brings us to our next mod, which is the Phone Wallpaper Override by Coco Games. And this just adds a bunch of custom wallpapers for your Sim's phone. I love these so much. I feel like it's such a small touch to your game, but the personalization options really just make a huge difference on gameplay, in my opinion. Opening up different Sims phones and being able to change the wallpaper depending on their personality, I think is just such a fun way to customize your game. And this mod specifically has some of my favorite wallpapers. As you can see here, there is a ton of variety and there's options for basically every Sim that you could have. This next mod is the iPhone 12 replacement by Neuronatcel, and what this mod does is replace your Sim's usual boxy, blurry phone into a sleek looking, higher quality iPhone 12. And along with that, you actually have a lot of options as well to change the case on your phone. So you can see from this list here, there are a ton of options for the cases for your phone. The one that I have picked currently for Anya is just this plain brown phone case with the Apple logo on the side. But there are a ton of really fun options to choose from. And here is a close-up of the phone with the custom phone case as well. And I just love how this looks in game when you see Sims go on their phones. I think having a higher quality phone in your game is something that seems so little but makes a huge difference. All right, and now on to the selfie. Like I mentioned before, let's go ahead and take a picture with my Sim self. And this brings us to our next mod, or mods I should say. These are the Selfie Overrides by Dear Kim. So as you can see here, the Sims have some different poses than they normally would, and I love these poses so much. I will say these poses did come from multiple packs by Dear Kim, but if you go through their Patreon, they have a ton of selfie overrides that you can choose from. They also have one for single selfies as well. I really love being able to have my Sims take pictures with their friends and family and decorating their houses and apartments with those pictures. So having these selfie overrides definitely give a lot more of a unique touch to those pictures. And obviously these poses are just iconic as well. Alright, you guys, this is now our last mod of the video. This is the Functional Drink Tray by Somik and Severinka. This is another one that I have used in my Lucid Legacy Let's Play, so you might be familiar with this CC. But basically, it just allows you to serve champagne or wine or whatever it is. There are different options that you can add. Also, just as a side note, this cheese plate that you see in the back here is another one of the recipes from the Granny's Cookbook recipe mod. This is the gourmet cheese board, which is an appetizer from that mod, just in case you were wondering or would like to check that out. So let's have Anya go ahead and serve some glasses of dry champagne with strawberries, which actually sounds really, really good. So here are the drinks all served with the bubbles and everything. I just love the way that this looks, and it's also just so easy when you're having a party or a get-together and you want to serve multiple Sims drinks at the same time. Sometimes it's annoying to make everyone drinks at your bar because it does take a little bit of time. So having this drink tray just makes it so much easier to just be able to get drinks out to people very quickly if you need to. Alright, you guys, and with that, I think that that is the end of our video. I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found some great new mods that you would like to download to your game. As always, all of these mods will be linked down below into a master post, so if you would like to download absolutely any of these mods that were shown in this video, they will be linked down in the description. I also just love doing mod review videos, so if there's any theme of mod review that you would like me to do in the future, definitely go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. I always love hearing from you guys and what you would like to see next from me. As always, subscribe if you haven't already, like this video if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video or live over on Twitch. Alright, bye my loves.